Good morning, everyone. Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. We're going to take a check of the forecast here heading into the weekend. Got a lot of that summer heat that I know you're enjoying here in early October, but we're going to see a cold front come through, bring that to an end, and likely bring us at least a little taste of fall to start off next week. So let's dive into it here. You can see the latest pollen count numbers. Those are up into the high category now after a week of pretty dry weather. So ragweed, pigweed, the main issue, but the tree pollen's crept up a little bit more. So it's on the high end of the low category. We'll see how that trends over the next several days. We are up to 73 and counting right now. That is a warm 10 o'clock reading, and we'll just keep on going considering that is our average high for today, about 72 to 73. We are at it right now, and we will just keep on climbing. A lot of 70s on the map, 77 in Shenandoah, the warm spot. And what you'll see here is quite a bit of clear skies, just some scattered clouds, the muggy meter, low end of the muggy range. I think that's going to be the key to today. Slightly higher dew points puts those temperatures in the low end of the muggy range, and they'll likely just bounce around between pleasant and muggy here a good chunk of the day. So the wind gust forecast will be a little more noticeable as well today, helping to usher in some of that warmth and humidity. 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts into the afternoon. So just enough to be pesky, and then they pick up even more heading into tomorrow. So by noon, I think we'll be another 10 degrees warmer. We'll be up to about 82, 83 degrees for that temperature, up to 88 by about 2 o'clock. And a high today near 91. I think that's where we're able to make it. 91 degrees for that afternoon high. And then abundant sunshine keeps it nice and warm for any high school football games tonight. Friday night fever is going to be toasty around 7 o'clock. Mid 80s and gradually cooling into the upper 70s by the end of it. And you'll notice overnight, heading into the early morning hours tomorrow, we're likely going to fall off into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A pretty warm start. And you can see a couple little clouds bubbling up there. There could be a sprinkle or two in those. So those getting up and going, tailgating very, very early tomorrow morning on Saturday down in Lincoln. While models don't really predict any accumulating precipitation, there could be some sprinkles on you as you head out. And then it's all about the wind. Way down those tailgating tents, they are going to be possibly projectiles tomorrow with wind gusts 35 miles per hour, 30 to 35 pretty easily. I think we could hit 40 miles per hour with some of our strongest gusts during the course of the day tomorrow, and the dew points slightly lower. Slightly. Notice how today I think the dew points are probably going to stay just above the pleasant range. We'll just dip a little bit tomorrow, and that slight little tick down on the humidity could be the key to either tying or breaking the record for tomorrow. The record is 92. That was set 20 years ago. And we'll likely get into the low 90s. It's just a matter of how far. So down in Lincoln, it's going to be a warm one. Upper 80s, lower 90s during the vast majority of the game. South wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. At least it keeps the air moving, but it will be a hot one. Thankfully, not all that humid. Hot and windy will be the story during the course of the day. The 92 on Saturday. 87 on Sunday, like I mentioned. Here's a look at those showers on Saturday morning. You can see just little specks on the radar, probably nothing more than some sprinkles, and then those will fizzle out and the heat will take over and we'll race into the 90s in the afternoon. So not a big problem with that. Then on Sunday, a couple things to watch here. You can see clouds moving in. There's a small chance of a couple of showers well out ahead of the front Sunday morning. That's what we're seeing there. Then we'll get a chance to warm up to about 87 degrees for that high on Sunday. And here comes the storm chances after about 6 o'clock. And that is where we'll see some thunder showers bubble up. Thankfully, the severe threat's pretty low with these, but it does look like it's going to be a windy one out ahead of the front. Pretty easy to tell where that front is. By about 11 o'clock, it will be through the area, storms along and behind it. And then we'll keep on going with some storm chances even into Monday too. So we bumped those odds up to 70% and still some potential there on Tuesday to go along with it. So forecast gets a little more complicated heading towards the end of the weekend and the early part of next week. So not much rain through 6 p.m. Sunday. It's afterwards when the storms fire up and linger through Tuesday. And you can see the best odds for heavy rain probably going to be south of I-80. That's what this model shows. Different model, kind of the same story. We're going to be watching to see where this can set up. This little axis right here, because I think with what will happen is the storms that develop along the front will kind of move along it and go to the northeast. So that's how you get what we call training thunderstorms, and that's where they could produce some heavier rain. So that's the best odds for some heavier rain and some 1 inch plus rain totals will probably be south of I-80 as we go through the Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday morning time frame. And you look at, this is what we call the kind of the cumulative rainfall potential. This is kind of putting all the models together, give you a little idea. You add on the know-how from the Weather Prediction Center, and you can see that the odds are up there that we get some 1 to 2 inch totals south of I-80. The best odds for those higher totals will be south of I-80. You can see a pretty sharp dividing line here for that. You go northwest of this, and you're likely to be drier. So farmers out in the fields, take note of this one. You might have to take a little bit of a break from harvest Sunday night into Monday. Kind of looks like a day where farmers will be in the field all weekend trying to get as much out as they can before the rain comes. That'll be something to watch with that rain event. And then more chances next week. We'll try to time out those as best we can. It does look like Monday's rain is leaning more towards the first half of the day, some morning and early afternoon showers. Hopefully we can dry it out in the evening, and then some more possible Tuesday morning. None of these really stand out all that much next week, but aside from this cloudy and rainy cool start to the week, that's what's going to keep us cooler on Monday. You're likely going to see temperatures climb a little bit and trend upwards, 70s to near 80 degrees by the end of next week. I think anytime we get some sunshine, it should be able to warm through those 70s pretty easily. Warmer than average likely wins out into the middle of the month. Averages by then are upper 60s, as a matter of fact. We lose a lot of warmth in the month of October. It's one of those days where, or it's one of those months where the average temperature changes a lot. We typically are in the 70s to start October. By the end of the month, average highs in the 50s. So there's a lot of transition that happens in the month of October. So that is what we are looking at here. Making our way through the early part of the month. First half of the month definitely going to be on the warm side, regardless of what cool air we can get early on next week. So we'll leave it on the 10-day forecast here for you. Kind of wrap things up. Jarrett's going to have an update on midday. Bo will take you through those afternoon shows later on today as well, and give you an idea of what it looks like heading into the weekend. In the meantime, have a good weekend, and if you like the summer warmth, it's your weekend. Hopefully you got a friend with a pool. I know you do.